Hey guys, it's Cheeze. I thought, after seeing that no one really posted a tutorial online for voice acting, which is something that I'm interested in doing for like a hobby sort of thing, I figured I might as well take my hand at doing a tutorial video. And I'm gonna say right now, I'm by all means not a professional at this. This is just a hobby that I do, like I said, for voice acting. I enjoy it, and it really entertains people, like in some of my videos how I've altered my voice, because it's just too funny for either the people in them or myself to go back and edit the clips and just laugh at them and just really enjoy them again. So this shouldn't take all that long. I mean, I'm basically a beginner too, and if you're watching this, I'm going to bet that you're a beginner too. So we'll basically be taking the same steps together. And believe me, this isn't going to take long. I wrote down all the steps that I've learned from myself and wrote it down on a flashcard. I mean, seriously, it's nothing much. It's, what, 5 steps? This shouldn't take all that long. Well, since you're here anyway, I might as well read the flashcard to you. Creating a voice shouldn't be all that hard. If you're good at acting, or even if you're not good at acting, as long as you can take your voice and manipulate it to either a high or a low, you can get a really good response out of it. Like, I mean, for me, I love to talk in different voices because, 1, it entertains people, 2, it really gets them angry sometimes if I really feel like annoying people for no reason. And if you really want to do this, then I recommend trying to see how low your voice can go and how high it can go.
Like, for me, that's my lowest.
But at the same time, this is my highest. At first, the voices may sound crumbly and disoriented, and maybe skipping parts now and again, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes very simple to use them, and they don't go up and down in certain spaces like most others do. Yeah, I just realized at the end of that one it was a little crumbly, but I have a cold, so I'm amazed I can even do the voices right now. But most of the time, if you really want to get into this, I'd recommend watching anime, cartoons, even listening to old-fashioned radio shows. Because listening to them really helped me give myself inspiration for it. And like, say I'm sitting there watching an anime or something, and there's a character voice that I really want to try going with. I may sit there and try to pretend in my mind that I am the voice actor doing the part, or even the character. And to me, that allows me, once I get my body into it and everything, it usually comes out with a really good take on it. Sure, it may not sound exactly like the person on TV, but it's something better. I'd recommend trying to create a voice like that, if anything. It worked for me. Sustaining the voice is very, very difficult at first. Like for me, when I started doing my high voice, it kept really crumbling. I could barely keep it going for an extended period of time. I would usually be able to go like 30 seconds with it, and then I'd have to stop and relax and then try it again. But nowadays, it's very simple to be able to just grab them right off the shelf, almost like a book, and just bring them out. It just is too simple. Another good part about sustaining the voice that you should know is always believe that you can do it. I know that sounds very cheesy, but my name is Cheeze, so it's understandable. But try and believe that you can sustain the voice, and try and see how long you can keep it going. If you can keep it going for at least 2-3 minutes tops, you're doing great. That's really good. You could just keep going with it and going with it, and before long you'll be able to do conversations on end with it and either annoy people or entertain them. But make sure that while you're trying to do the voices, make sure you have water near you or something that'll hydrate you. That way you'll always be ready to go at a moment's notice. Trying to voice in public is a very interesting thing. It could either be good or bad, depending upon the situation and who you're with. Like, I remember one time I was with my family at a get-together and we were singing Happy Birthday, and I switched to my high voice right off the bat, and everyone was cracking up. But I did the exact same thing on a public sidewalk, just walking around with a friend, and a bunch of people were complaining that it was really annoying. I can understand it's annoying, but for me, I'm just practicing my voices. It really helps. But we'll get more to practicing in a little bit. But trying your voices in public is half and half. It could go either way. You could be sitting there in like a train or something, or a subway, just practicing your voices because you either have something to do or you are bored out of your mind, so you need something to do. I mean, sometimes it throws people off. Yeah, like, you may feel embarrassed at first, you may feel upset at first, you may have a nervous twitch that may not go away, but keep trying it. I mean, for me, at the beginning, I was very hesitant about coming in front of the camera, but now I do it all the time. And then now I'm doing all the voices in front of it too. It makes it a whole lot easier. It's just a lot of fun once you get the hang of it, because then you can switch back and forth all the time at will. And it becomes a really, really fun thing to do. Even if some other people may not think so. Practice, practice, practice. I know it sounds annoying. I know it sounds repetitive from all your old gym schools and everything, and all your high school gym teachers going like, hey, you gotta be able to do this, you gotta be able to focus, you gotta practice, you gotta play this game down to the wire. That way you're always good at it. I never really got in the gym. I failed it a few times. It wasn't anything major, but it was enough to throw me off. But if you keep practicing them, like, I don't recommend getting up early in the morning while everyone else is asleep and start going, in your high voice! Because that'll really throw people off. But if it's like everyone else is awake and you're in your room by yourself, just try it. Just try the different voices. Go through the entire role. And if you create a new one in the process, that's even better. Now you've got another voice to go with. Like, only for me right now, it's being more difficult because my family is getting used to the voices and they're not being happy about hearing them all the time. But that's also understandable because they've been around me so long. It's really... I know it's annoying to hear the guy that's basically not a famous YouTuber going like, you gotta practice your voices. You have to become good at them, you have to practice, and you have to be the best. For me, I'm not even the best. I'm not even really big like a bunch of my friends on YouTube. I'm not famous getting paid lots and lots and lots to do this. This is just something that I wanted to try doing. And I mean, even with the voices, you've got to be able to jump out there. Even if it's embarrassing, you have to just be able to jump out there and practice them. I mean, for me, when I'm doing my really quick voices that have to be done specifically on the counter, it takes a very long time in order to work. But once you get the hang of it, it's very simple. But yeah, it took me a while to get these voices down pat so I could actually start whipping them out at any given moment. I mean, first of all, it may drive you nuts. It may drive your family nuts just to have you going like la 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 la. But of course, practice makes perfect, right? Where do you go from here? That's a very good question. It depends on what you want to do. You could either try and find a job or something that would offer it, or just go online and try and see if somebody else needs it. By the way, I'm available for voice acting if anybody needs it. I got no problem doing it. Just write me a message on YouTube saying I need you to come voice act for this. Just make sure you give the credit. But yeah, in order to you have to know where you want to go, basically. Like for me, I want to be a film director. I'm just doing voice acting as a hobby. I may enjoy doing it, and I may practice it every day, even though I get threatened out of being thrown out of the car by doing it, but that's understandable. But it depends on what you want to do. Either you could become a film director like I want to be, and rarely use it, or if you even want to become a professional, you can just go find a job somewhere. I know it's not easy, I know it takes forever, but just look around, see if there's somebody that needs it. Like, start from scratch. Start around even your house. Try and see if someone is recording something that you can immediately jump in and get your name into. Because as soon as you get your name in there, that'll get you some recognition, especially if they're already famous on something, and spread it around for you. Then you'll have even more name recognition. I mean, this is strange sound coming from a guy that's not popular or anything on YouTube, but believe me, after going through as much as I did in all the schools I've gone to, it kinda helps. Believe me, I left my high school being called the prodigy at either voice acting, directing, or editing. It's a nice thing to know. So anyway, I hope you learned something off of this tutorial, and if you did, leave me a comment. And especially if you need me to do something for you. If you need voice acting, no problem. I got no problem helping you with that. Heck, even I need voice sometimes. I'm Cheeze, and thank you for watching my tutorial.